Hey guys, this is Big Andrew, world's strongest phlebotomist. Uh, it's on Google, so I am the world's strongest phlebotomist. Coming at you with thought from the bench. Um, I wasn't going to record one today, but I felt like maybe I had some thoughts to share with you. So here we are, thought from the bench, and I'm actually sitting on my bench right now. I've had this bench for several years, and just finished doing some ab work. I know people that know me or watch other videos, whatever, think this guy does abs. I'm like, yeah, yes I do. I do abs. That's how you get to be the world's strongest phlebotomist. You got to train your abs too. Anyway, so I'm out here in the home gym, the garage, with a thought from the bench. My last one, I talked about moving forward and looking forward, right? Looking at what's going to come in the new year, recorded before the end of December 2025, and here we are, about a week into January. What's the day? I think the 6th of January, 2026, and it's been exhausting for me. Not because of the year, not because of some goals or anything I set for myself. It's been exhausting. It's wearing me out. The last several weeks through December and on into next week even. This past weekend was the first time in a while I haven't had any overtime or other work to do. But next week I'm picking up some overtime. Actually, no wait. This week. It's this week. This coming weekend. Because today's, yeah. So... but I work weekends at the hospital, the local hospital, as the phlebotomist, the overnight phlebotomist. It's 12-hour shifts, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And last year at this time, I had been demoted and everything from a position that I worked hard to get to, and I was working in a place that didn't value me. Didn't value me very well. And I didn't realize how little I was valued until they demoted me and promoted somebody over me who then quit a couple weeks later. And then they just kept bringing in different people to be over me, and then fired me after I had shoulder surgery. I don't want to be bitter about that, of course. I learned things there at that position that have carried me into phlebotomy and will take me into my next business venture that's getting started soon, fitness and wellness consulting, with my new company Upgrade, which, if all goes well, should be launching soon. I am doing some gym management consultant through Upgrade, but I'm not doing a lot of personal consulting yet. So I'll have more information on that later. But coming soon, Upgrade Fitness and Wellness Consulting. Right now, it's just me yelling at my phone in my home gym in front of a bunch of plywood that I just kind of keep back here. But I learned a lot at that job. Learned some things about myself that I didn't know. Some things that I didn't know I could do. Some things I didn't know how to handle. And now I work in the medical profession, and a lot of those things that I struggled with before I started working with this. I don't want to mention the name of the company, but with this stretch and massage parlor is what it was stretch and massage studio, not a parlor, studio, I guess, stretch studio. Helping people with their wellness through stretching and physical ailments and stuff like that, helping with that, which I loved. I really, really loved it. I believe in the product. I've always believed in fitness and wellness products. I believe in the product of a company that provides stretching or stretch therapy. If you have anything near you where you can experience it, even if they offer like a free trial or something like that, or whatever, I would suggest going and giving it a free trial for sure. You'll appreciate it if you really just let them do what they're gonna do. Excuse me, got the hiccups all of a sudden. There are lots of these all over the country, in the United States. I'm not sure where they are in other planets. I mean, countries. Yeah. Anyway, but they're all over the country. And I think they're really, really great. It's a great product, and I cannot recommend it enough. Go get stretched, right? Anyway, one of the things I hate doing is I hate touching people. I've never been big on touching people. I did jiu-jitsu and judo and wrestling and played football. I did a lot of contact sports and I loved all of it. I really did. I enjoyed all of it. Tried boxing for a little bit. Boxing was okay. It's not my thing. Different martial arts and stuff. That's fun. Kicking and striking and punching and all that stuff. I like to grapple, but I honestly don't like touching people. Just like, it's just weird to me. I can't explain why I'm okay doing those sports and not like touching people. I don't like to hold hands. Shaking hands is not a thing that I particularly care for. It's some mental thing. I don't like feet. I'm not a big fan of feet. And I don't like to take my shoes off in public. But that job I had to do in my socks, and I had to touch people all day long, 8-12 hours a day. And a lot of times I had to grab their feet for things, or around their feet and their ankles. And I got them and myself in compromising positions to get these stretches done. It's very uncomfortable for me. I especially never really cared much for touching women. I like to give them their space. I always felt sort of disrespectful if you were a guy that really liked it. Would just hug all the girls or something like that, and like feel, to me it felt disrespectful to be that kind of guy. I always like to give women their respect, and their place, and be a gentleman. Even with my wife, I love my wife, and I like to put my arm around my wife. I'll hold my wife's hand and everything. I'll give her a hug. I love my wife. Touching my wife is something that I love to do, but she's the only one in the whole planet that I voluntarily touch, at all sometimes. I'm not a hugger. I'm just not that kind of person. But I had to do this job on women all the time, stretching women and getting in compromising positions with women in my socks. It was weird. It was awkward for me. But I learned how to do it, and I learned how to overcome that every single day, every single client, every single time. Now I work as a phlebotomist. Again, like I said, I'm the world's strongest phlebotomist. And I work as a phlebotomist in a hospital. My hands have to be on all kinds of people all the time. Now I wear gloves, and sometimes I'll wear, like plastic gowns and stuff like that, or masks or shields or whatever, if it's a specifically nasty situation. I'm still in there with that person. A lot of times it's just the two of us. And sometimes there's a camera, sometimes there's not. It's just the two of us. And it can be compromising. You go into these places, and these people, they're in a compromised position, and they're in the hospital, and they're in an uncomfortable state, and there's a lot going on there. And you have to go in there. I have to go in there and bring the temperature down a lot of times and say, listen, this is what we need, and just bring it down into a place where I have a little more control over the situation, and they're calm, and I can get their blood. And I have to hurt them. I don't like hurting people. Like I said, I like wrestling and jiu-jitsu, all that stuff. You hurt people doing stuff like that. That's different. Okay? These people volunteered to get hurt. I'm not the kind of guy that goes looking for fights. I've never been that kind of guy. I've never backed away from a fight. I just don't go looking for them. And now I have to hurt people. I have to physically poke them with a sharp needle and extract blood out of their body. And I have to do it sometimes multiple times a day. Sometimes I have to do it multiple times within a couple hour period if they need certain things. And multiple times in one session, if I have to get certain tests, I have to poke them with multiple needles. It's difficult. I didn't know I would be able to do it. Honestly, I had no idea. When I was working at the stretch studio, I had to get over the fear and the discomfort of putting my hands on strangers and getting into compromised positions and putting them in compromised positions. I had to get over that. Had I not gotten over that, I probably wouldn't be able to do phlebotomy at the local hospital. I guess my thought from the bench this weekend is to get out of your comfort zone. It makes me uncomfortable to do a lot of the things that I do at work. It doesn't mean I can't be confident, because I know how to do it. I'm trained. I know how to do it. I'm pretty good at it. There are people who are a lot better than I am, but I think I'm pretty good at it. But the job itself, a lot of times, is uncomfortable. You don't know what you're walking into. You don't know how that person's going to be. You don't know if they're having a seizure in the middle of a blood draw, if you can maintain control over that so that you don't damage their vein or their arm or hand or whatever. You have to watch out for other people if it takes multiple people to draw blood. And a lot of times I work with local students from a local community college that teaches phlebotomy and CNA certifications and stuff, and they'll come and I have to work with them and train them. You don't know what you're getting into all the time. It can be difficult, it can be uncomfortable, it can be painful. And you have to get outside that comfort zone sometimes. You have to be willing to stretch beyond where you're okay and venture into something new. You know, no growth can happen in a comfort zone. No growth of substance happens in a comfort zone. If there's going to be any movement forward, there can't be any standing still. You may find yourself in a comfort zone right now where you're okay and you're right where you want to be and everything's good. What about at the end of 2026? What about at the end of January? What about next week? What about in the end of the next 5 years or 10 years? If something happens that pushes you outside of your comfort zone, are you going to be okay with it? Can you adapt? And can you grow and be strengthened by it? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like to bench, but I bench on a regular basis right now because it's good for my shoulder post-surgery to bench and to work on that. And the benching has helped my overhead get up and everything else is getting back where it needs to be. you got to find things outside of your comfort zone. You got to find a way to get out of your comfort zone. Maybe you need to define your comfort zone. Maybe you need to sit down and write down the things that you see are in your comfort zone that you're biased about. Excuse me, you have some kind of prejudice about it. Find a way to get out of it. Find a way to break free and to kind of reach beyond that comfort zone and develop outside of there. If you're going to be stronger, if you're going to be better, if you're going to grow as a person, if you're going to grow as a family, and even if you're in the ministry, or if you're a member in your church or anything, if you're going to grow in your church and your ministry, you're going to have to find a way to get out of your comfort zone. Whatever that is. I can't tell you what it is. It's different for everybody. You might learn something about yourself if you got out of your comfort zone. You might learn something about other people if you got out of your comfort zone. I have gotten out of my comfort zone, and going back to phlebotomy, said it can be an uncomfortable situation. And it's not the kind of stuff that I would seek out before, as work. But I found a place where, in certain ways, I feel valued. Remember I said I didn't realize how undervalued I was where I was. Heck, there, I was the only employee who didn't get anything for his birthday. Everybody else got something for their birthday. They gave me nothing. I didn't realize how undervalued I was while I was there. And I'm more valued now. Now I work harder. Maybe not harder. I work differently. It's hard work. And I don't see my family for a few days at a time, even though I'm in the same house. It was hard work. But I feel valued. And I'm able to provide for my family. I'm able to do things and to dedicate time to things like building my business and getting some new certifications in education. I'm valued and I'm out of my comfort zone. You find a way to get out of your comfort zone, and you'll find just how much you are valued, potentially, by those around you, by the industry you're in. You find your value. Here's my thought from the bench for you this week. Have a good day, y'all.